Hey everyone, Vegan Cupid here. For today's video, I wanted to introduce you to Marena. So Marena went through my 10-week program. She discovered me on the Chef AJ show and she saw me on the show and she reached out to me. So I really like it when my clients, share their experience of what it was like working with me in hopes of inspiring you to potentially work with me. So Marina, what you saw me on the Chef AJ show, like I said, and what was it that prompted you to reach out to me after seeing that?
Yeah, I was excited to see you in the lineup for the Chef AJ show. And part of the whole reason I wanted to watch what you had to say was, particularly in the pandemic, I ran out of ways to try and meet people, just to connect and meet other vegans out there. And so when I saw you on the Chef AJ show and heard about your program, I thought, and I'm also not one to use dating apps, and so I thought like this would be a really safe way for me to explore, um, like am I blocked and blocking my own way in my love life, but also meeting other people just to connect with, even in the vegan community. And so that's why I reached out.
That's awesome. And so you went through my 10-week program, which consisted of, a number of videos, weekly exercises, group coaching calls, access to the private client-only Facebook group. And so, please share your experience with the program.
Yeah. So the videos and the exercises introduced you to topics and activities that maybe you know something about, maybe you've never been exposed to things like law of attraction or how to have a great conversation, and the kind of the psychology around having a great conversation. And so the activities that came out of those things and many more type of topics really allow you to do some self-reflection and be honest with yourself and work on defining what you want. And I think the coaching calls and the Facebook groups offer a supportive community to practice the things that you want to put into play in your life, and just talk through some of the things that maybe you're struggling, like what does this mean, how do I apply that. You have a really awesome group of people that are supportive whether you have the same views or not, and they offer you a different perspective even. So that was
Yeah, and thank you so much for sharing that. That's the thing, right? It's like we all bring something different to the table. There's men, there's women. The ages really vary. And so everyone brings something, with a different level of experience at a different stage of their lives. And it's just so beautiful to bring people like that together who are all vegetarian or vegan and single and all deeply committed to finding love, right? And you guys all supported each other, lifted each other up, and gave some tough love sometimes. And sometimes that's what's needed, right?
Yeah, and I think the difference in the ages and genders that are on, the coaching calls help, like younger people help get perspective from people who've been through that kind of activity before, and some insight to that. And also, young people have a lot of perspective that I think are overlooked sometimes. So.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I think that it's so fun to work with a variety of people. And so, but is the program what you were expected? Is there anything that you were really surprised about that, pleasantly surprised about?
Um, so my expectations were really set in the conversation that you and I had in our Cupid call, kind of when you and I talked and just learned about the program, and I was assessing would this be a good fit for me. I think what I was pleasantly surprised about was the depth of the content that the weekly modules went into. Things like, so I really believe in law of attraction. It is something that had been floating in my life over the last year coming into this. And it just was like the perfect storm, that and like a happiness action plan, which like to some people might sound a little hokey, but until you write it down and you articulate it for yourself, um, you know, it's not going to happen, or you're going to get lucky, right? So a lot of the content really just served me and the things that I needed in my journey, and how to make it real. And so I was pleasantly surprised, not surprised, but pleasantly welcomed the depth of the content that we went into.
That's wonderful. And yeah, I mean, some parts, some people are really into, and then some parts they're not so much into, and that's okay, right? That's why there's a really, the topics are really diverse, and the program really is what you make it out to be, right? So the more time and effort that you put into it, the more that you will get out of it, right? And it's about taking ownership of your success, right? So I'm here for all my clients as a guide, providing you with, tools and resources and deep support as you implement the program. But what you do with it is entirely on you, right?
It is not a check the box activity. You have to be willing to do the work, even if you're not sure what the value of it is, especially when you're not sure what the value is, because then you need to dig through something and get the point, right?
Right. Yeah. And so what were some of your mindset shifts that you experienced throughout the program?
Um, two things. One, and to paraphrase you, like love doesn't have a zip code. So which is being open-minded to meeting folks. Not every person is going to be a potential match, but there are, life is meant to be shared, and connections can be friendships too. So that was one. And the other was not to be shy to articulate what I want and put it into the universe. I think what I learned something about myself, which was I felt maybe selfish, or like I was being too self-indulgent to sit down and write out a detailed paragraph about what it was I was looking for, feeling like that wasn't right for some reason. And so I had to unpack that and dig into that. And so that was one of the mindset shifts that I went through, because unless you articulate it for yourself, how are you going to find it? How are you going to get it? Right. So those are two big things.
That's awesome. And so what do you think contributed the most to those mindset shifts? Because, there was a variety of different elements in the program.
Yeah, so definitely some of the videos of other coaches, particular topics, and then some of the exercises, like the writing of your own kind of bio exercise, which I stalled for a couple of weeks, and the accountability of the group coaching calls and putting it out, like I'm having a hard time with this, and really unpacking why I was having a hard time getting started on that. And so the exercise is pushing you to do it and exploring it, and the group calls, holding your counterparts on the group calls, holding you accountable to do that for yourself, because it has real value.
Right. And asking for help is hard, right?
Yes.
It's really hard. You have to be vulnerable and you have to be honest with yourself. But once you're able to get over that initial block, that's when the magic happens, and that's when you're able to progress. And
No,
there's
being able to unpack it.
Yeah.
Yeah, being able to unpack it in a group of folks where there is no shame, and say, like, I have no idea, like getting past the desire not to do something and say, why is this? And unpack that with people, and by yourself. Like self-reflection is a big part of this program also. So it was all very helpful. and I
Yeah,
was able to do it.
you were, and I'm so proud of you. And it's hard to do the deep internal work. And
Yeah.
I've done it myself as well. I've been there. It is a hard, but it is so important to do that work to be able to get to where you want to be. And so how did you feel after you finished the program?
Um, I felt more sure about what it is I want, what I'm looking for, and why that is and how it fits with me. And even, more confident that I'll find that.
That's wonderful. And so how committed are you to finding the love of your life now?
Well, I'm committed to finding the love of my life, and I think that I'm equipped to do that. Um, but I'm not desperate, right? So I'm looking for a good fit and not just a person. And so I'm willing to go, to try go on the journey to meet some interesting people. And if it works out to continue developing that relationship into something more, that's great. And if it doesn't, well, then I've met a really awesome person.
That's amazing. And I love your mindset, and it's 100% mindset, right? And again, not being desperate to find love. That is not healthy. It's about wanting to share life with a partner,
That's right.
wanting to share the day to day. And until that happens, being happy with your own life, loving your life, living life to the fullest until you meet that person,
That's
right?
right. And I do. I love my life, but I'm willing to make room for someone else in my life. Yeah.
Exactly. And that is so key, is making that room and not having shame around wanting to share life with a partner. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
So thank you for saying that. And so you participated in a couple of my virtual veg parties, also known
Mhm.
as Zoom Hangouts. And I would love for you to share your experience of what that was like, because I know it's a bit nerve-wracking for a lot of people, right? You're really putting yourself out there. You're being in a room full of strangers. So what was it like for you?
Yeah, they're casual hangouts, where you meet other people and you're not necessarily put on the spot to talk with people you've never met before, if that freaks you out. But it's they're all have a slightly different um, feel to them, but they are very casual. Um, you idea share, you introduce yourself to others, but it also helps you realize you're not the only one, either with that interest or hobby or passion or thought. And so to get in a hangout room with like-minded people and see the enthusiasm or the ideas or the way they articulate their ideas, some of the ones I've been in, we kind of beg, borrow, and steal from each other. Like, oh, I like that phrasing. It doesn't make me feel so selfish. So, okay, I'll use that. Um, but there are lots of great people. Everybody's there for the same purpose, to meet others and to share this common interest. Um, and so, how much you interact afterward is really up to you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's wonderful. Like I love hosting them. I get to also meet a bunch of amazing people from the
Yeah.
comfort of my house, right?
Yeah.
With COVID, it's so nice to be able to still be social in this way and meet new people and meet people that you would otherwise never meet.
That's
So,
right.
yeah, thank you. And so, do you have any words of encouragement for anyone who is potentially thinking about reaching out and working with me and joining my program?
Yeah. I think if you're feeling stuck or unsure of a way to move forward, with your love life, whether you're not sure, like, what's wrong with me? I need to unpack some stuff. There's definitely support and work around that, but also connecting with other like minded folks. There's an opportunity there. And so um, you have to do some work to yield the results that you're looking for. So the program can provide access to people and resources, some professional resources even, that help you really be able to let go of some stuff and move forward and meet other really great people, some of which you will connect with and develop a friendship with. um, so I think the main thing that I said from the very beginning, from our very first call, was you get out of it what you put into it. So like I said, it's not a check the box activity. So if you're invested in yourself and moving yourself forward, it's a really good program, and you'll benefit from it.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for saying that. And you personally witnessed, bromances being formed in this program, as well as romantic relationships, right? And so this kind of stuff really can happen. There are no guarantees, but it can happen. And that's the beautiful thing of when you step out of your comfort zone, you try something new, you take a chance on yourself to change things for the better. So thank you so, so much, Marena. It's truly been a pleasure working with you. I love your mindset. And I know it's only, a matter of time before you find that special someone. So thank you very much.
Thank you.